The first contact happened over 10 years ago in a dream. I felt like I was in a large, dimly lit room. I could not see the walls or ceiling because of the darkness. The room had a blue tinge to it. There was a small bit of slightly brighter light highlighting just myself. I felt like there were others in the room, but they remained in the shadows. I felt frightened. They, the word I'll use to refer to them, they were trying to reassure me. They were communicating directly mind to mind. They said they lived on a planet near the second brightest star, which I assumed was Sirius. They were looking for a translator. There was nothing they said or did that was threatening, but I felt intimidated. I could not see their faces, and I was uncertain where I was. I was startled awake from fright. This happened 10 years ago. I was uncomfortable with the content of the dream. It felt too real, but it was too weird for me to accept. Now, 10 years later, they came back. Once again, they appeared as a soothing voice inside my head. They communicated via energy, but it came out in English. The energy carried not only the words, but also a tone of voice and emotions. I felt like they were teaching me the art of translating their energy into words, feelings, and images. They asked me a second time if I would be willing to be their translator. Despite the soothing voice and the pleasant energy, I felt taken aback by this. We conceal our appearance because you would feel a great deal of shock to see us. We are not here to traumatize you or enslave your planet. We have been observing your planet for thousands of years. Me. So why are you reaching out to us? What is your motive? They. Curiosity and kindness. I sat in my kitchen. I put on some soothing music. My nervous system was already overloaded from the COVID-19 pandemic fear, the constant Trump chaos, and the loss of my job. I felt a great deal of financial insecurity, and I feel hesitant to begin communicating with aliens. This whole idea of communicating with beings from another world just felt absurd. We understand. Me. Oops, I forgot that they were reading my mind. My friends and family will think I have lost my mind. Silence. Me again. I just did not expect this. Nobody does. Write it as science fiction. It will make a good story. Me. What color are you? Blue. Me. This feels too weird. We understand. Me. Where are you now? We are on our home planet. Me. Why are you reaching out now? Silence. Me. Okay, I'm willing to be your translator. But why me? You can hear us. "10:09 a.m. I find myself pacing. I always thought that people that believed in aliens were weird, and now I find myself being even weirder than them. It's one thing to see a weather balloon and think it is a flying saucer, but it is a whole nother thing to telepathically communicate with them. Perhaps it's just the medical marijuana, my overactive imagination, or spending too much time in isolation. But even the vague possibility that this is real boggles my mind. We want to give you some of our technology. Me. So, what do you get out of this? Our motive is kindness. From our perspective, your people are still children, trapped by primitive emotions, beliefs, and ideas. Humans are very much predators, but now armed with nuclear weapons. We are concerned that you could destroy your planet and all life on Earth, either through nuclear war, environmental disaster, or overpopulation. The death of your planet and your people would be a loss for us and for the universe. This is an intervention to see if we can head off your planet's destruction. We are hoping the shock of seeing us, of being visited by another intelligent life form, will shock people awake. We are not just one race of beings. We represent a federation of beings. Some of your science fiction writers have unconsciously tapped into the images, stories, and the advanced technology that we have. We would love to share our technology with you. Right now, your medicine and space travel is very primitive. We would like you to join us in exploring the universe, but we cannot give you our space technology until you drop the role of self-centered predators. We cannot allow you to plunder other planets and other peoples. When you mature and are less self-centered and violent, then we are willing to help you. Me. It's difficult to believe you would help us just out of kindness. Yes. Advanced civilizations operate very differently than primitive cultures. What your people call the spiritual ideal is our way of life. Imagine a planet populated by people like Jesus, Buddha, Mohammed, Mother Teresa of Calcutta. On Earth, people of this caliber are rare. On our planet, it is the norm. It's not about belief, faith, or concepts. It's about kindness, intelligence, and wisdom. Both Buddhist and Christian saints had visions of this day and this time. In their visions, they saw a time of chaos, war, disease, corruption, and the disappearance of virtue. They dreamed of this time and the necessity of an intervention. We are that intervention. We read your thoughts. Right now, in your mind, you are still wondering if this is real. The U.S. Navy recently has admitted contact with us, so there is growing, believable evidence that we exist. The U.S. Defense Department has videos of members of our Federation flying around. We showed ourselves a little. It's just the beginning. We are slowly getting you as a people used to us being around. Eventually, it will be no big deal. We hear your thoughts. This is part of our advanced technology. Our technology is not based on physical equipment alone. We have a technology based on accessing the universal energy, consciousness, and the life force, what you call non-material energy. Much of our advanced technology is about accessing what is already there in you and in us. Mind-to-mind communication is a simple, easy first step towards an exploration of more subtle technology. We have been mentally communicating with humans from the very beginning of life on Earth. We have put creative ideas in the minds of humans from time to time. A nudge or two is usually sufficient. We have a long-standing policy of non-interference in Earth matters, but due to the possibility of the destruction of your own planet, we feel that the time has come for us to intervene more forcefully. This is where you come in. We will train you and slowly reveal ourselves to you. At some point, when an extreme moment of crisis arrives, we will publicly reveal ourselves. As you acclimate to being around us, you can translate for us to help allay fear. When that moment comes, and we do reveal ourselves, there will be a lot of fear and panic. The military might be activated, and there is some risk we could be violently attacked out of blind fear. But we are not an invading force. We are not here to plunder your planets or enslave humans. We are not like humans. Me. If you want me to introduce you to the world, there needs to be something tangible, something real that people can grasp onto, or else this will just be classified as science fiction or somebody's fantasy. We will teach you how to travel instantly to anywhere, both in time and space. We will teach you to telepathically communicate. It will require discipline, skill, and complete mental clarity on your part. We will also introduce our form of medicine, which is much more subtle and gentle than yours. But we want you to start by visiting our planet again and continuing to dialogue with us. Do you remember our planet? Remember that dream that you had? Me. Yes, I was on an ocean beach in a cove. The sky was a thin, pale yellow, and the water was light green. The part I found fascinating was the perfectly round crystals on the beach. They seemed magical. They were the size of oversized marbles. I held one in my hand and was fascinated by their appearance. Inside each transparent round crystal was a color. Each crystal had its own unique interior. Each crystal had its own unique display. The sand on the edge of the beach where the shore met the water was covered with them. Was this your planet? They. Yes. So what made them so fascinating? Me. Their beauty and unusual qualities, plus the magic and wonder of the surroundings, the exotic colors and unusual rock formations. The giant rock formations reminded me of a place in China I saw online. Those crystals were not ordinary crystals. You unconsciously picked up a feeling about them, but you are still too unconscious to be able to figure out what you are feeling. We would like you to revisit that dream and focus on the crystals. Because we communicate energetically, you will need to learn to be highly sensitive in order to pick up our subtle ways. Our communication has evolved over 40 million years, so we cannot expect you to understand us or our ways of communicating quickly. When you saw us in the dream, you experienced our presence as a medium blue light, a light that had texture in different shades and variations of medium blue and dark blue. These were not just random optical sensations, but our way of communicating with you. Those textures and shades of blue is our way of communicating. But of course, you could not understand our way, so we had to learn a way to communicate with you, mind to mind. Because of the massive gap in our evolution versus the evolution of humans, you will not be able to fully grasp the radical differences between our culture. The selfish, self-centered way of living and being that is common on Earth is no longer part of our culture. Like a beehive, our whole race is a living unit of consciousness. For humans, this might seem strange, foreign, and perhaps even creepy. For us, the loss of individual consciousness was a natural evolution. When our civilization was young, we too almost destroyed our planet. We too plundered our planet just like you are doing now. We also focus on our small selfish wants and desires. We were lucky in that we also had an intervention of a vastly superior civilization. As a result of that, we gave up violence and war and stopped destroying our planet. Our population declined to a manageable level. Our planet healed and once again became the paradise it once was. Your planet is at a breaking point. The Earth itself cannot handle any more humans. The population pressure on the Earth is enormous. The Earth and its resources are not infinite. Your individualistic lifestyle is frankly insane. It is destroying the planet. The notion that you live as individuals, doing only what is best for you, results in a crazed culture with a small number of wealthy people living off a large number of people suffering and impoverished. This is creating massive political instability. We want you to learn how to communicate with us. Me. Is this all just a dream? They. That's difficult to answer. Me. Isn't it just a yes or no answer? They. From your limited cultural perspective, it seems that way. Me. My mind wants to know whether this is real or my imagination or just a dream. They. So when you were handling and looking at the multicolored crystals on the beach, was that real or not? Me. Well, that's part of the problem. It felt real. When I awoke from the dream, I felt a sense of shock because I could not decide which one was real, the visit to the planet or me lying in bed. They. Why can't they both be real? Me. How could they both be real? They. There will be moments where the limitations of your language and your culture cannot be overcome. Language requires a shared experience, and we do not have a shared experience with humans. We are also the product of 40 million years of evolution. On Earth, humans are just beginning to grasp the deep mystery of existence through the behavior of stars and planets, through the behavior of atoms. But this is just the start, just the beginning. Now imagine if you went back a mere 200,000 years to your ancestors who were using rocks to crush the bones of a dead zebra to suck out the bone marrow late at night on the plains of Africa. Imagine you walked up to them with a flashlight and you wanted to explain to them smartphones. First off, they would think you were a magical being from another planet with superpowers. Second off, they would not be able to understand a single word you said, and they would secretly think that your plan in being there was to steal their bone marrow. But there is another issue. If you go public and get published with this story, you will be subject to ridicule. People will think you are delusional. This is why our suggestion is to write this as science fiction. Then people can read it and not feel threatened. But right now, our focus will be on training you. Me. So why did you pick me? They. We have discovered that people who practice daily meditation over extended periods of time are usually or unusually open-minded. This openness makes it easier for us to communicate with you telepathically. Since your teacher was intentionally training you in telepathic communication, you are familiar with this. You also have the ability to stay mentally intact, even when confronted with things that many people would find impossible to accept. We will start by working with you in your dreams. We will help you as much as we can. But you have to prepare and practice. Me. Okay. So when do we start? They. We already have.